Welcome to Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Breckenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.
Welcome to Sportsline for Monday night, April the 28th. This is Mike Pavlik.
George Guido here.
And we are about ready for some more playoff hockey, George. Let's drop the puck here. Right. Buckle up, baby. The Pens will be at Columbus tonight, as they were last Monday when we were sitting here. And it didn't start off so well for them last Monday, but it ended up well since they came back and won. But Saturday they played what I would consider the best game they've played since the Olympics for sure, and maybe the best game they played all year.
Yeah, and they were in a position where they kind of had to, but they got the job done, and I think Fleury did a great job in the net. You know, everyone wondered, you know, people made fun of him over the off season because he had to go to a sports psychologist. But
who doesn't?
I think something like that paid off for him, especially with the traumatic experience of Wednesday night. He came back Saturday and had a great game.
After I saw how he played Saturday night, I said, okay, we need that guy's name.
Yeah.
Because I think I would recommend him now because he stood tall and he played a terrific game. Now the fun part begins tonight, because here's where it gets dicey. They just don't seem to have to be able to get it through their thick heads that they need to play this way all the time.
Yes.
And here's the thing. The Penguins' record at home in Game 7s is not good.
No, I believe it's surprisingly.
I believe it's 2-6. Yeah. Okay? In the 2 times they have won at home in Game 7, they won on the road in Game 6. The 6 times they have lost at home in Game 7, they lost on the road in Game 6. So you can see where the trend is here. Yes. And in their 7th game history, they have never lost a 7th game on the road in their history. That's unbelievable. But they can't win 7th games at home. So this is why this game, and I said Saturday was a must-win, and so is this one. I don't want to have to deal with Wednesday night in Pittsburgh.
Plus, in the Penguins' record notwithstanding, as we all know, that puck can take some crazy bounces in Game 7.
Right.
You just can't do anything about except try to avoid them.
Well, and you can remember some of the games just off the top of your head. The Florida Conference final game. The game against the Islanders, the 7th
1975,
game.
Eddie Westfall.
1975, the 1-0 game they lose. The David Volek game in overtime. I've still never seen the Florida game because we had a bowling banquet that night. I taped it and never watched it.
Oh, I don't.
I've never seen it. So if you start looking at those things, and that's what I always say, you can never complain about what happens to you at home in a Game 7 because you put yourself there. So, you know, they need to get that taken care of tonight. They need to go in there. They need to play the same way. And here's the other thing. Just because you come, you play hard, and you try hard and do all the right things doesn't guarantee you win anyway. Right. So that's why you need to do it all the time.
Saying that to themselves.
Exactly. That's why you need to do it all the time. And that's why you get, okay, tonight we'll turn the switch on and everything will be okay. Yeah. It doesn't always work that way.
No, it doesn't. And same thing we said last Monday night, that, boy, if Crosby and Malkin can ever get going scoring-wise, and they're still not doing it.
No, they still have.
If they can ever get started, I think the Penguins could, really go far, but instead of struggling like this.
By the way, my bracket on NHL.com, 4 series down, I got them all so far. The only one I'm behind in is the Kings. And the Kings are coming, and it looks like the Sharks are going to change goalies tonight.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of panic
out there.
Well, if they blow 3-0, Todd McClellan might as well just keep walking because he's going to be out of there. All right, we have rules and regulations, George. You want to take us through these, if you will?
Here we go.
There we go.
You can win a prize every other week per household. And you can win the Grand Salami Prize or the Mystery Profile only once in a calendar month. And you can try the Mystery Profile just once in a calendar month, win or lose. Now, the multiple choice questions, you will get 15 seconds, the Grand Salami, 20 seconds, and the Mystery Profile, we go clue by clue. First-time callers, 2 or more prizes you get with the correct answer. And anyone who has not called or been in our audience in more than a year, we kind of revert you back to a first-time caller. Don't forget Bob's website, www.doubledribblebob.com. In fact, the answers to a lot of our trivia questions are on Bob's website. Don't forget about Bob's radio show. Great nostalgia and stories every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on WAVL 910 AM on your radio dial.
All right, I'm looking at the trivia winners list here. It looks like we got a pretty clean slate going for us. Grand Salamis are going to be all open. Anybody's eligible for that. Looks like multiple choice. Everybody's good to go. Terry Trees won a Tinker Toy last week on the
Jackie Robinson
on the mystery profile. Paul, of course, in our audience, won earlier this month on a profile also. So you get one shot a month at those, as George just said.
And I hope Terry Trees calls back again. I was so telepathically trying to get the answer of Jackie Robinson out of him last week. I had that feeling every clue that he was going to say it, and it just never came about until the Tinker Toy clue.
My favorite part was when when you gave the college clue, and he goes, "I don't pay attention to college sports." It's like, well, okay, looks like we're going to pass that one up. We can click that off the list, so that took care of that. All right, we have our first break ready to go. We want to take that. We have some calls lined up. We want to get to them. I'm remiss. I should give the number more often. 724-236-0430. Give us a call. If you're listening on a Monday night, if you're watching on streaming, you can do that. If you're watching on TV on Thursday night on Channel 190, jot that number down, 724-236-0430, and give us a call Monday night at 6 o'clock. We would definitely look forward to hearing from you. So let's take that break right now, and we'll be back.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tatter's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubledribblebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Borough.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
At Tower Auto Sales in Blawnox, you have the luxury of choice. Where you buy your vehicle is just as important as what you buy, and it's been that way now for 40 years at Tower Auto Sales. Call Mike Fanto and let his experienced sales staff help you with the purchase of your next pre-owned vehicle. Remember the slogan at Tower Auto Sales, just buy it. That's Tower Auto Sales, Freeport Road in Blawnox, phone 412-828-6202.
All right, we're ready to go. We have a caller on the line, ready to go. Let's go to him right now. Good evening.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey, Tony.
All right.
How you doing? Everything all right?
Everything's great, and we hear you loud and clear. This is good.
Good. I could hear you, too.
Beautiful.
I don't know where to start. Let's go with the Pirates.
Sure.
Their on-base
not,
percentage as a team is .296, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been calling in, and it must be wasting my time. Nobody's listening, but, I told you after last year, after the season, when Bob asked me, well, was you satisfied with the season? I said, no. And he said, why? I said, well, it was nice, that they had a winning season. It was nice that they got into the playoffs, and it was nice they beat the Reds. But then they lost to the Cardinals. I said, if they'd have went to the World Series, I would have been delighted. I said, I might even went to the game this year. But I said, I also warned you that people had career seasons last year, which they did. And a lot of these people is not going to be here. And even even if everybody came back intact, everybody, that's Bird and Burnett and everybody, we still needed a first baseman. We still need a leadoff man. We still need a right fielder. And we still need a good starting pitcher. We still needed a good right-hand power hitter. And we needed a lot of stuff. And what did he do? Nothing.
Nothing.
They moved Andrew
Nothing.
Lambo to first base in the Arizona Fall League. That was about it.
It's about all the further they went.
If you people, season ticket holders, think that they're going to put a competitive team on the field, you're nutty. Believe me. You're nutty. It'll never happen.
Nutting.
Nutty.
You're nutty.
You're nutty if you think he's going to put a field on a team.
I mean,
a team on the field, all right? They built the Taj Mahal baseball fields, right? The Pittsburgh people.
They did.
Is that with their tax money? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Did they build the stadium down there?
Yes,
the Taj Mahal baseball stadium?
Yes, they did.
All right, and what did they do? They rented it out to Waste Management. This guy has accumulated all the waste in the major leagues and dumped it into the Taj Mahal. You got to be kidding me. When you see guys like Snyder bat up, he disgraced the name of Snyder in the Major League Baseball. You remember Duke Snyder?
I've heard of him, yes.
Yeah, well, I bet I've seen him play.
The Duke of Flatbush.
Yeah, I bet he's rolling over his grave with that last name. And how about the Boxer Rocks we have leading off? Leading the major leagues in strikeouts for a leadoff man.
The human strikeout machine.
Cannot bunt. Runs the bases like Stevie Wonder. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, and there's the manager here stands there in the dugout. Well, you know what? It's probably not his fault because he has nothing to work with. And it's a shame because old Nuthead said, well, this ain't the end. This is the beginning. After this great season, we're going to bring in yeah, okay. Cha-ching in his pocket.
That's where it went.
And, my boy lives, in Missouri, and he says, you should hear the people out here, how they cut up the Pirates. They said the Pirates are a laughingstock out there. Last year they had a good season, but with that owner, he does absolutely nothing, and he picks up all the garbage. You heard of the elephant burial ground. That's where the elephants go to die. Where did the players come here to die?
That was the Jeremy Burnitz theory, I believe.
Yeah. Raul Mondesi and...
but he quit. He left.
Yeah, Derek Bell.
Raul Mondesi was the best. I think that Raul Mondesi was better than Derek Bell because he said he had to go home and take care of some sort of personal business. He left and didn't come back. So the Pirates figured that was it. So they cut him, and then 2 days later he signed with somebody else.
Right.
All of a sudden his personal problems
they kind of disappeared. Right. And
we're probably still paying his contract, too.
Probably. Well, they're paying for they bought Derek Bell's boat. We know that.
And I mean, you got absolutely nothing on the bench.
No.
Yeah, that's been even as great as last year was.
You have Josh Harrison's like the only sort of representative.
He's a strikeout machine.
He strikes out too, but at least there's some things he can do as a bench guy. Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah.
We need guys in the stadium. We need guys when that pitcher looks and sees somebody coming out of the dugout, he ain't laughing under his breath.
Right.
He's saying, wow, I got to face this guy?
Yeah.
Please.
And
there's nobody there. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Martin has gone downhill in his batting. I know he had a bad hamstring, but even before this. And his catching, it's questionable. I know he can throw out guys, but he lets the ball get to his shin guards too much and everything. And you watched Tony Sanchez the other day. He did a terrific job back there. He never let anything get to his shin guards or his chest. He mucked it down with his glove. He slid over, not reach over.
His problem is he's really athletic, Tony, and then that's the thing about him.
But he's just
a good,
with the stick, it's weak. Everything's weak.
He can't throw.
So and then I mean, some of those pitchers pitched some great games and didn't deserve to lose, and they couldn't even do it. What am I talking? I've been talking about this for so long it gets to ridiculous. It's a shame, And these people go down, and I bet they had, a good turnover on season tickets this year. They probably sold a lot more after last year. Well, all these suckers expected. I didn't, and I warned everybody.
I know one season ticket they subtracted.
You?
Me.
Huh?
Because just to the way, well, we're good now. So instead of it used to be you had to buy 8 games, okay,
right,
for the local. Then you had to buy 10.
Right.
And then they finished second once, and they're going to make it 13, making you okay. And you have to buy 3 games in September, which I'm not buying 3 games in September when I don't know what the pit schedule is yet. So I'm not going to commit to 3 games in September when I like to go to pit games too. So that was number 1. And then number 2, they made the Saturday night games cost more than every other game. So I told them, guess what? I'm going to buy my tickets on StubHub, and I'll see you later. So now I've been to 2 games. 1 game, and I will go this Sunday, okay? And now if they continue to stink, I don't have to go. And guess what? They don't get any more money. So they're Tony, I finally came over to your side. It took them winning to do it to me.
Hallelujah! You've seen the light.
Now, what happened last Thursday?
It's a shame. You know what I mean? I was such a baseball fan in my younger days, And I seen the 40 Pirates and the 50, but they were terrible. But at least they tried. You know what I mean? At least we had Kiner. That took me down there to watch him hit a home runs.
Yes.
What do you got down there to watch? Did you want to go watch? And then I think that McCutcheon's pressing so much, he's looking bad.
Yeah, he's trying to carry the team on his shoulders.
He's pressing so much to try to get something going. Oh my God! And then Alvarez, I thought, well, finally this guy finally learned how to hit another box of rocks. There's no rule in baseball that said you can't hit 70, 80, or 90 home runs if you're left-handed from the left foul pole to dead center field.
That's right.
No rule. And if you're a right-hand batter, there's no rule from the right foul pole to dead center field. They got their pitchy out there. Go with the pitch. I mean, step towards the pitcher. What he was hitting these bombs to left field. No, they got to stick that foot in the bucket, try to pull outside pitches. Like I said, his body's going north, the pitch is going south. Bad chemistry. And they keep popping up and hitting these ground balls to short. Oh, brother.
Speaking of foot in the bucket, how hard did you laugh when Volquez was batting yesterday?
What's that?
It was Saturday. It was Stormy Pimentel when he was batting on Saturday, and his first step was to third base. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. It was like he doesn't want any parts of this.
If he'd have stuck it any farther, he would have probably hit the third base coach who had to push him out of the box down there by third base. But you know what? He got a base hit, didn't he?
Volquez did yesterday. Yeah, he's like, it's half the kids you see in Little League do that. That was pretty funny. I got a charge out of that. 2 on, no outs, and here comes the box of rocks, bunch it right back to the pitcher. Oh.
And I shut it off. Honest to God, it went off. The Food Channel come on, or anything else was on. I said that's enough. I can't watch anymore of this.
For me, I can watch that. I was watching. I've adopted the Washington Wizards, so I was watching them. I was watching the Wizards and I was watching hockey. So that was my flip twos yesterday.
That's enough to the Pirates. I got an upset stomach. I have to get my my Maylocks after this phone call. But then let's go to the Penguins.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. That's about it. I don't know who's going to show up tonight.
I don't either.
Now, you said that they have to get it through their thick heads. They have to play that way.
Yeah.
They know they have to play that way. They're just too damn lazy. Too many prima donnas. Remember country club atmosphere?
Country club. It's Bushwood. Just another night at Bushwood.
Yeah, there you go. Just another night.
That's another day at Bushwood. That's what I always say. It's like I'm just waiting for Ted Knight to walk around.
Let me ask both of you guys. Couldn't they use a Max Talbot right around now?
Sure could.
Well, sure. Yeah. Yep.
Not a star, but somebody that goes into the corners and does a lot of things.
Oh, we don't want that. Oh, my God.
Matt Cook when he was getting suspended.
Just think when we had Lemieux Yager. We went back to back. Then they got rid of all the defense and all the grinders. And now we got 2 more great stars, and they're wasted. They're wasted.
You're 100%.
You have to have that grinders. You got to have those guys along with your superstars. That's. I mean, even if they get past the series, how are they going to beat Boston? Get out of here.
Well, I don't see. Even if they get past this series, I don't think they beat either the Rangers or the Flyers.
Well, I don't care. But I mean,
Flyers and the Rangers are playing really good hockey right now.
Yes, they are. How all of a sudden are they doing that? I mean, did they wake up too and realize they had to play that way?
They had a new coach. They had trouble with their acclimating themselves to his system. And when they finally started to figure that out, they started playing better. And then they made that big trade at the deadline when they got St. Louis. And it seems that everything's come together. The thing about Alain Vigneault is that you better
What did we do at the deadline?
You better do this quickly if you're the Rangers, because eventually they're going to get tired of him like the players have done wherever else he's been. Yeah. So this has got to be a this year and a next year thing for the Rangers. They can't be waiting any longer than that, because they'll be tired of him. Hands will be up, and that'll be that. So
what did we do at the deadline?
Marcel Dock.
Yeah.
And the Stemper.
Yeah.
But you know what? Those are
They're
good.
not bad. Those are the kind of guys we needed.
He wanted to make that Kessler trade, and Vancouver wouldn't, because they wouldn't let their GM make a deal because he was going to be fired. That's exactly what happened.
And another thing, that sounded good to me when you said new coach.
Tony, that's
it might not even be his problem. It might not even be him, but we need something to change. We can't go year after year after year, winning our division, scoring, these guys scoring all these points, they're going that, and they go flat in our face.
Right.
Every playoff like this.
Especially
can't keep doing it.
That's it. All right, Tony, let's do trivia.
All right. Wait a minute. I got to take my mailbox. Okay. Let me have Grand Salami.
Okay.
And I better get some hints from George after he gave him guys all the hits last week. Let me have number 5.
Number 5, okay. Here we go. Grand Salami question number 5 for Tony. Who is the only player to hit 300, about 30 home runs, and post 100 RBIs in his first 10 Major League seasons?
The first guy to hit 300.
Right.
Hit how many home runs?
30 home runs a year and 100 RBIs a year in his first 10 seasons.
The first guy to do that.
Yep.
Barry Bonds?
Not a bad guess at all. It's actually a guy more modern than Bonds. Albert Pujols.
Oh, Pujols, yeah.
And it looks like he's back.
I knew that question. I heard it once before somewhere.
Healthy legs, too.
Yeah, hell, dummy me.
All right, Tony.
I told Bob all the ones I blew. I said, he'd have been telling me, hey, this is 65 you won already. When you quitting? All right, guys. Have a great day. Have a great week. We'll see you.
All right, we go for the break now. We want to take that. We have another caller on the line, and we have a line open for you at 724-236-0430. We'll take the break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square.
For over 38 years and 3 generations, Arnold Furniture has been the area's favorite furniture store. We have over 4 floors of living rooms, dining rooms, recliners, bedding, carpeting, and so much more.
You'll always find friendly personal service from one of the family.
And our prices consistently beat the competition, plus free local delivery and free setup guaranteed. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
We have a brand new mystery profile tonight, and if you would like to try that, we would encourage your participation. Brought to you as always by Mattio's Pizza and Subs in Brackenridge Heights. Everything on their menu is made with quality ingredients, and that could be one reason people proudly pass the word about their great food. Hand-tossed pizzas, gyros, subs, hoagies, calzones, strombolis, wingdings, more and more. And we had the sandwich here as a special guest a couple weeks ago, and that was terrific. So you want to stop in Mattio's, 1000 Broadview Boulevard in Brackenridge. You can give them a call at 724-904-7312.
And I hope somebody tries our mystery profile just so we can give them the first question. It's just amazing. I'm so anxious to give this question to somebody.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I found question one, which is part of the first clue there. I found out in a bar, and sometimes you get the best stuff in a bar.
Oh, Mike Lang will tell you that.
Mike Lang at what was the play? What was the place in Bloomfield there? It was a spot that we actually would run into Mike Lang occasionally, and he'd be sitting at the corner of the bar drinking a scotch or whatever and smoking his cigarettes, chain smoking. I mean, he still does by the sounds of it. But yeah, and I found this out. I did a little research. I told Bob. I came in here the next Monday. I said, Bob, you're never going to believe this, but X, Y, Z. So Bob has woven that into the profile beautifully, and
yes.
It's unbelievable that.
So hopefully we'll have one
this
of our
guy would know
callers
this. Somebody really has to give that a shot. So let's go to the callers. Good evening. You're next.
Hey, it's Mr. Tampa Bay.
Hey, Tampa
Bay.
Bay. What's going on?
Hey, I just want to call and let you guys know about the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Sure.
They're not going to win tonight.
Oh.
They're going to go to Game 7.
Oh.
They're going to lose at Game 7 because the last time they won in Game 7 was 1995
against Washington. I looked
Yeah.
that up today. Ooh. Yeah. At home.
And
they've only done it twice at home.
Yeah.
Once against the Devils in '91, and the other time was against the Capitals in '95. But both of those were coming back, though. Like I said, winning Game 6 and then winning Game 7. That's been the formula.
when you had the two best scorers not doing any playing, I mean, they're not even shooting the puck.
Malkin, they can't even get him to shoot.
George brought that up earlier when we were off air about that Malkin just needs to shoot the thing. And I'll tell you what, a lot of the thought behind moving those two guys together, Crosby and Malkin, was that automatically makes Malkin the shooter on that line. Because he always wants to defer to Neal because Neal likes to shoot the puck, which is fine. I have no problem with James Neal shooting the puck. But they figured if they put Malkin on Sid's left wing, then he would be the person that would be the first option to shoot the puck. And still, I don't know that if he, and it was weird. Something's got to be wrong with Crosby. And, I say that, and as somebody said to me yesterday, then how come you don't say something has to be wrong with Gino? I was like, I don't know why I say that, but you watch, because he seems to be still going the same speed, Malkin. There doesn't seem to be a visible look of something wrong with him. Sid's just slow right now, and and he's been that way since they've come back from the Olympics. He just has not been the same, and I don't know if something happened to him before that, after that, but I think something's the matter. But they're never going to tell you.
If they get past Columbus, then they're going to get swept by either Rangers or Flyers.
Well, I don't think they get swept by either of those two teams. I think it'll be competitive. No? But here's the thing. If you're right, Tampa, on your first line of questioning that they lose the next two games, then Tony will be right, and we'll be talking about who the new coach is going to be. Because there's no way Bylsma survives that, and there might not be a way that Shiro survives that either.
That's the thing. Yeah, we know Bylsma's gone, but Shiro, too, just might be on his way out.
Very much.
Right. And one last thing about the Pirates, I think they need to find a different start. The leadoff man, Marte, really is blowing up.
Well,
that's the problem.
I think they have one in Indianapolis. They have a guy down there batting 400, but unfortunately they won't bring him up. That's right, you heard me. Hitting 400. They won't bring him up because they have to wait till some vague date in June that isn't even set in stone, because then that way that may save them a few $1 million 7 years from now.
When they're not going to have him anyhow, because if he starts winning big arbitration awards, they're going to get rid of him anyhow before the 7 years.
Before they get to the end, exactly. So, if that's what he said. If he's as good as they're afraid he is kind of where I'm going with this. Yeah. It's like, I think this is showing you that, Polanco. And then the other thing is he that good, number one? And number two, they should be hoping and praying he's as good that they have to pay him all this money.
Yeah.
That's what you would think.
That's a good sign. But Tampa Bay, one day last week, he had 2 hits and 5 at-bats. He went 2 for 5, and his batting average went down. That's the kind of player we're talking about here.
400.
Yeah. It's then they need to put Alvarez. Alvarez did better last year, batting number 6.
Right. He needs to go to the 5 or 6 spot. Yes, indeed.
Put Ike Davis in there at number 4, and let him bat number 4, clean up, and let Alvarez go back down to 5 or 6, because that's where he was doing all the damage last year.
Because right now McCutchen has no protection behind him. The other team's pitchers have no incentive to give McCutchen a good pitch. They'll just give him a free pass, and because they know, you saw what happened the other day I think it was the Friday night game in St. Louis. The Pirates had runners at first and second. There was a wild pitch. The runners moved up to third and second respectively, so they just walked McCutcheon knowing that Alvarez would strike out, and guess what?
Yep.
Alvarez struck out.
Struck out, yeah.
And they didn't even bring a left-handed pitcher in to pitch to him when they did it. That was the part that, now's when you know, okay, the Cardinals understand Pedro Alvarez, and the only thing you need to do to understand him is he hot or is he cold at the time? Because it doesn't matter what side the pitcher's going to throw from if he's in a hot streak, you're not going to get him out there. And guess what? We're soon going to be into a time here where he's going to start to tear up again. Yeah. It's just the way he is. He's never going to change. He's going to strike out a lot. He's always going to do that. And I'm beginning to worry that the same thing is going to be true with Marte, which, by the way, all this stuff just comes right on the heels of him signing that contract, too, which kind of concerns you a little bit because the same thing happened to Tabata. Maybe, hopefully not to that extent, but you just don't know.
I'm going to go for, I know you guys got a lot of callers, I'm going to go with multiple choice.
Multiple choice. Let's do it, Mr. Tampa Bay. All right, we are starting right up at the top of the list. So here we go. It's a baseball question for you. Let's see if we can get a winner here. Based on a minimum of 100 at-bats, what Hall of Famer has the highest batting average as a pinch hitter? The minimum of 100 at-bats, what Hall of Famer has the highest pinch-hitting batting average? Here are your choices. Bill Terry, Joe Cronin, Rod Carew, or Lloyd Wainer?
Lloyd Wainer.
It's not Lloyd Wainer. The answer is Rod Carew, who 40 for 123.
That's amazing.
A 323 pinch hitting batting average, which is ridiculous because if you had 250, you're a good pinch hitter.
Sure.
But 4.
All right, guys. Nice talking to you.
Hey, great hearing from you.
We'll talk.
All right.
We'll talk draft with you the next time you call, maybe.
That's right. The NFL draft is
someday may come. Yes, it may happen.
It's they're starting Thursday night, the 8th, I believe.
Right.
So
early round. It's 2 weeks later than normal. They gave some sort of cockamamie answer that Radio City Music Hall was booked with some sort of special Easter program. Of course, Easter had already happened, so I don't know. But so they're not having the draft until after the week after the Derby. And they didn't want to have it the week during the Kentucky Derby because they would lose too much media attention there. So some people still do watch horse racing, I guess. Yeah. So that's when that'll be, and this is really dragging out. It's like I noticed today on SportsCenter they had A.J. McCarron in studio. It's like these people don't have anything to do, so now they're going to start running the quarter. Tomorrow, Aaron Murray from Georgia. It's like we're going to go through all the SEC quarterbacks. Yeah. Let me know what day Johnny Football's on. That's the day I want to watch. But so they've kind of run out of time, and they don't know what to do now, and they're trying to stretch. And now I don't know if you saw this, but Roger Goodell said that they may stretch it out to 4 days now.
Oh my!
And
they'll get people watching.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody's happy when the salary cap goes up because then you can get more players. But then everybody complains when he says we're going to stretch the draft to 4 days. Why does the salary cap go up? Because he stretches the draft to 4 days. They sell more advertising and they make more money. He's the greatest CEO in the country. He knows how to run a business, and he's making these guys all this extra cash, and all we do is complain about it. And it's like, it's just there's salary cap, players, more money. So anyway, speaking of football, remember to do this when we come back. There's a spat between Ryan Clark and Antonio Brown, and it's a good spat. So anytime somebody tries to dress down Ryan Clark, I'm happy about it because I don't like that guy very much. So we're going to get to our next break here in a second, but I don't know if you saw any of it, George, but it's classic. It's classic Antonio Brown. So we'll do the break now. We'll take it. We'll come back. George will tell you about his book, too, when we do that, after we come back. And then we have the lines open for you at 724-236-0430. And we'll be back right after this.
This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
there once was a hungry road that wouldn't let drivers get very far. It wore out their tires, forcing them to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man who proved the right tire changes everything. With long-lasting tires in place, those drivers were back on the road to saving money. Drive longer with the Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile limited warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road, Natrona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557.
And don't forget about my book, Ali Kiski Sports History. It's available for $19.95 at Costello's Printing in Tarentum. Also, if you like to order your books online, I guess nowadays a lot of people are so far ahead of me technologically that people order by way of the computer, and you can do that with this book at wordassociation.com. And don't forget, we have graduations coming up and vacations. If you're looking for a good summer read, I recommend this one, Ali Kiski Sports History, available for $19.95. Mike?
All right, we have a caller, so we'll get to the caller. We'll get to the Steelers in a little while. We have time. Let's go to Rich. He's on the line right now. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are you?
Good. Hey, I think the Pirates should switch, put Walker at leadoff man.
I was thinking about that.
Speed seems to be less of a factor now because stolen bases are down. The way the game is played now, that there isn't so much bunting anymore, and there's not so much base stealing and any of that you're basically just looking for someone to get on base and kind of go from there. And you know, you got to see he's a switch hitter, and you know I think he's the type of guy you can say, hey, be a little more.
He knows
selective.
the strike zone.
He knows the strike zone. Actually his walks per time have gone up each of his years in the league, and you can see that he's not hitting now. Right now, but no one is. I mean, they're on a collective slump right now, so I don't think you can take that. But I always thought that getting a leadoff hitter would have been a very good idea for this team because you would have gotten Marte out of that number one spot, and I really think they're going to bat Polanco up there when he comes here. So, then you move Marte down into the lineup, maybe he hits sixth or something like that. You're missing a right-hand bat down there now that Martin's on the disabled list. I just think it might be a perfect time. But again, and Huntington said yesterday that is not a driving factor. Super 2 arbitration is not a driving factor in our decision, to which I say baloney.
Yeah. Now, how do we know that Polanco is going to do well, and they might not have to send him back down to the minors again, which they've done for a considerable number of players, like a guy by the name of Mickey Mantle that struggled when he first came up with the Yankees. They had to send him back down to the minors. Look at the Pirates with Jay Bell in 1989. I think they brought him up for maybe about 20 at-bats to start the season. They sent him back down, brought him up a couple of months later, and then the rest was history. He stuck for good. So, there's no guarantee that Polanco's going to stay here.
Is he a right-hander or left-hander?
He's a left-handed batter.
I'll tell you who he looks like. He looked to me, and I've heard people, national baseball guys, compare him to Dave Winfield. Yeah. He's all legs. When I saw him, I said, it looked like when I first saw Dave Parker.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it looked like.
Until Parker's body filled out.
Right, exactly.
Of course, he filled out a little too much.
Well, because somebody said Darryl Strawberry. So somebody said Darryl Strawberry, and I said no, because Darryl Strawberry is way skinnier than this kid even now. He's thick. He's put together, and according to some of the people I talked to in Florida this year, that he actually that he looked a lot different coming into this spring than he did a year ago. That he filled out a lot, just as I believe he's 22. So he's a big kid. He's left-handed. I said, here's my experience. I got to see him play, so I can give you a scouting report. I saw 3 innings and 1 at-bat. That's what I got. So he struck out. He was a slow roller, but it did. It took him about 3 steps to get to first base.
Well, that's good.
But he's, they're basically making up reasons they want to keep him in the minors. He needs to work on his base running. Well, that's a good idea considering everybody up here, their base running is just fine, and they couldn't spend another few days in the minors to figure that out. Things along those lines. His angles, How about playing the caroms off the wall in right field as opposed to
He has to
center
work
field?
on that.
He has to work on that. It's like, how many 21-foot high walls are in AAA, George? I don't think any, with screens on the front of them, and no, I think it's going to be a whole new wall once he gets here anyway. He needs to come up and practice. Who says he can't learn that while he's here? But there's no such thing as a can't miss, Rich. We all know that. But
all right.
He's batting 400 in a month. I mean, that's...
Hey, Tony Sanchez, how many more options does he have left?
Well, he was only here last year for the first time. This year is an option counts as 1 year. You get 3, but you can be brought up and down 100 times if you want to. It still only counts as 1 option per year. So he still would have options left next year, and you could bring him up 100 times and send him back down. So last year was the first one, this year's the second one, and then next year will be the third one. But the thing they're going to have to decide is, this is a good time to get him up here and get him playing for a while to get a look while Martin's hurt, because you're going to need to know, is he going to be able to hack it defensively? Because if not, you have to either A, consider a position switch with the kid if you like his bat enough, and I think that's iffy. I don't know where else he can play other than maybe first. Yeah. And second would be you're going to have to go find another catcher, because your only other option would be Chris Stewart, and he can't catch every day.
No, he's not an everyday catcher.
No, he has no bat at all. So
where did the Fort go?
He's with Colorado, I believe.
He's with the Rockies, and I think he made the team.
Yeah, he made the opening day roster, and I don't know if he's still there, but we won't be playing Colorado for quite a while. I think nothing until the middle of July. But he caught on with Colorado, and the team's doing pretty well. They have a first baseman named Justin Morneau, who's hitting over 300 and driving in a lot of runs out there.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. He was up last year for a cup of coffee, wasn't he?
Month of September in the playoffs.
He had 3 RBIs while he was here.
Yeah.
3 the whole time, no homers.
Is Ryan Domitz still around?
He was on the Atlanta. Was it Atlanta?
He's on the Braves. He's probably on the DL with a concussion. He actually, I believe, is on the DL, but it's not with a concussion. I think it's a pulled muscle or something. But that guy's star-crossed. Yeah. I'll tell you, I always liked that bat. He could hit.
Yeah.
But
when Ryan Domitz's bat would get hot, there's not many people in baseball that could get hotter than he would get in stretches. But he just couldn't stay healthy.
Okay, gentlemen, I think I'll go for multiple choice.
Multiple choice? Okay. Here we go. Question number 2 on the multiple choice. What pitcher holds the record of losing the most consecutive games to one team? This guy lost 13 games in a row to one of the teams in his league, and it's a major league record. Now you just got to tell us who, Rich. Was it Bob Friend, Bob Turley, Don Sutton, or Robin Roberts?
How about Don Sutton?
And you are absolutely correct. Don Sutton, at one point in his career, lost 13 straight games to the Cubs.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, considering that the Dodgers, and he pitched for the Astros for a while too, they were usually way up there in the standings, and you don't think of losing to somebody like the Cubs 13 times in a row, but that's Don Sutton, and that's the major league record, and that's a winner for you, Rich.
Okay. Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we have a winner tonight.
We love it when Rich wins. Rich is I'll tell you what, I have him on this list 3 times. That he has hit 3 in a row since the 31st of March. So congratulations to Rich. We have a line open for you. 724-236-0430 if you want to talk about the Pens. We've kicked the Buccos around pretty good tonight, and they deserved it.
Yeah.
And I have some Steelers stuff here. I wanted to get into this. Antonio Brown was in town over the weekend, and a friend of ours, he got to take his kid to go see him at a signing that he had out in Robinson. And Brown is in town, of course, because they're I believe, into the weightlifting stage that you can be in the building, and they're gearing up toward mini camps and all that good stuff. Well, Antonio Brown kind of threw a couple salvos out, and Allen Robinson had a story in the Trib. Allen's a veteran, by the way. He's been around a while.
Oh, my goodness.
Funny guy, too, by the way. Dry. So Antonio Brown said that when Ryan Clark had said all those things that he said, about this, we had plenty of guys on the team smoking pot, this and that. He goes, this is what happens when you have people that are upset that they're not here anymore, and they're going to throw out this and that. He goes, and that's not leadership. And last year we had people calling out Lamar Woodley, and he goes, we need to get back to the point where that locker room's a better place to be, and that's when we're going to start winning. And I thought that, I thought that they were okay comments. I heard some people today say that they didn't think that he should have gone there, but I think he's trying to be a leader. It's a guy that the young players can look up to. He's first one in the building, last one out. One of those deals. So that's the half of it. But Ryan Clark, of course, couldn't let this go, and we all know Ryan Clark. He has a big mouth. He likes to be on television and do things like that. So I have to read you these two tweets. Antonio Brown can feel and say anything about me he'd like. We all have opinions. I'm not bitter, and I'm not mad at him. Wish him the best! Exclamation point. Okay? I'm sure he hit send, and he sat there, and he started to burn a little bit more. And then, piggybacked onto that, which was an okay thing by Ryan Clark, was this. My family babysat for Antonio, and my wife planned his son's birthday party. He's not smart enough to realize what a good teammate is. # done.
I leave well enough alone.
I love Ryan Clark. Not at all. I don't like Ryan Clark at all. But I thought that was really interesting. And it's like, this guy's got to fire shots on the way out the door. And he said the pot stuff because he knew he wasn't going to be back. You don't say that if you're going to be on the team. And Joe Starkey's been talking about this on the radio. It's the only current sitting player that's on TV commenting about his team, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So how do you do this? What is that? So I just thought that was hilarious.
So what do you think is going to happen Thursday the 8th? Wide receiver or defensive back?
I think it's one or the other. And I think whichever one they don't take in the first round, they'll take in the second round. I saw some stuff from Bouchette that said that he thought that they wouldn't trade up, that they don't have a third that they can deal. And a lot of times when you're trading up in the first round, a third has got to be part of that equation because these all have values. They have numbers attached to the pick, and you have to add it up to a certain number to move up a slot. And a third round pick is kind of always involved in that when you're trading to move up in the first. And the problem is that their third is gone. They have a compensatory third that they got back from losing someone, I think Wallace, but you can't trade those. So they can't do that. I'm looking at Mike Evans, the guy from Texas A&M.
Boy, would I love to get my hands on him.
So he's under the impression that it would be more likely to trade down than trade up. And you could do that, gather more picks. And they do have quite a few picks this year, and they're going to need them. But so I think whichever one that they don't get, that they'll take in the second round, and apparently that it's deeper in wide receivers than it is in corners, so you'd be better off if you took the corner first and then took the DB second.
Because there'll be somebody
even the second or even the third round that you could get, who you would think you could get somebody that could play for you. Don't necessarily have to start, but they could be on the field for you. Fourth receiver, fifth receiver, whatever that is. As I was going down through the schedule, and I didn't write it down, I didn't bring it with me, but their biggest weakness has been their defense, and is probably going to be going into this year. They signed back Ike Taylor at a reduced rate. He didn't play great.
No.
And their defensive backfield was susceptible to the pass. I mean, even Ryan Tannehill lit him up in a snowstorm, which should never happen. But if you look at the schedule, and especially the first 6 games of the year, there are no elite quarterbacks on it that they have to play against. I mean, you have Cleveland twice in the first 6 games. You have Tampa that doesn't have a quarterback. You have Baltimore who has Flacco, who will be the best one that they see at the beginning of the year. Yeah. And you start going down that schedule, and you really and you see Drew Brees very late in the season when it gets cold, and they don't like the cold. And Flacco 2 times, I give him his credit because he's won the Super Bowl. Flacco twice, and Andrew Luck. Other than that, go through that schedule and find elite quarterbacks and elite offenses. They don't see them.
Right. They'll see one in Atlanta when they go down.
Okay, Matt Ryan's another guy. Yeah, but he's a regular season quarterback, and he'll do well and does well in that dome, and they do. And I'd forgotten him. And Cam Newton, they see week 2. He's still. I'm not exactly sure what he is, but he's good, and he's good enough to beat you.
Right.
I mean, he won a division last year. He's good enough to beat you. But the point is, you're not going to get Manning and Brady and all these guys thrown at them. These high-flying passing quarterbacks that give them trouble. You're not going to see these guys on this schedule, and it makes me wonder if they might not be poised to be able to have a decent season, because mainly because of the types of quarterbacks that they're going to see. guys that maybe they can be able to handle. And you're going to see some rookies too. The Browns are probably going to be, if it's not Brian Hoyer, it's going to be somebody they just drafted, and you're going to see them twice in the first 6 games. You get Alex Smith, who's pedestrian at best. You know, I wonder now, I want to see what they do with the draft, like you said about that corner, to see if they get another DB in there. If Dick LeBeau's home in the lab right now, coming up with a way that he can piece this together, I think you could see a little bit of a turnaround from them.
Yeah, especially you start off with Cleveland, then that following Thursday you play Baltimore, so you'll have 2 games in, then you get a 10-day break, and they already get a 10-day break from their last exhibition game to their first regular season game.
Right.
So you're talking, in the space of about 25 days, they'll only have 2 games.
Right.
So they should be well rested.
They should be well rested. They should, hopefully, you get healthy. And to me, like I said, if I look at those first 6 games, that the most important thing for them is going to be how healthy they come out of the exhibition season. If they come out of camp healthy, and they hit the ground running going into the season, I think they have a chance to get off to a pretty good start. And that's usually how these things work. The good start is paramount to having a good season in the NFL.
We saw what happened this past year.
And teams do that, and if they're ready
deep.
to go. Right. So, okay, we got to take our last time out. George, thanks. George had us to go to job number 2. Let's go, Pens. Hopefully,
we could talk some more hockey next week.
Next week when we're back here, hopefully we'll be talking about the Rangers. Hopefully we'll see how that goes. So we're going to take our last break of the night. We'll do that. We have room for you, 724-236-0430. We'll be right back.
Since 1914, the local area has relied on the Resevich family of funeral homes in deepest times of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley, now 100 years strong and still doing things right. Its reputation and unquestionable service now continues with a 4th generation. The Resevich family of funeral homes, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road in Lower Borough.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
At Tower Auto Sales in Blawnox, you have the luxury of choice. Where you buy your vehicle is just as important as what you buy. Call Mike Fanto and let Tower Auto Sales experienced staff help you with the purchase of your next pre-owned vehicle. Remember the slogan at Tower, just buy it. 412-828-6202. And there you go. So make sure to stop into Mike Fanto. He's been there for 40 years, so he's doing something right. So we have that going for us, obviously. All right, about to wrap things up. We have Paul in the audience going to help take us home tonight before Penguin game. I'm sure, Paul, are you proud of me that I have my bracket is completed so far with the 4 teams that are in? I have them all right.
Oh, so.
I've done that. Now, here's my only thing, is that I need the Kings to come back from the insurmountable 3-0 deficit to win in 7, and then I have a chance to sweep all 8 brackets in the first round.
So how's your brackets doing? Are you in better shape than your brackets?
I'm in 30-some. I'm in like 37th. How about this? 37,000th place, and I haven't missed a series.
Wow.
So because what they do is on the NHL.com site, what they do is they give out bonus points for getting it correct in the first round and the correct number of games.
Right.
So I only have 1 of the 4 exactly right. I got Chicago in 6, so I have that exactly right. The other ones I have them mixed up.
Yeah.
Now I have a chance. I have Colorado in 6. Which I can get right on the number. I have, what's the other one? There was another 6. Can't remember what it was. It's in the West.
Colorado.
I have the Rangers in 6. So I have Colorado and the Rangers both in 6. I can get both of them right. I had the Penguins in 5.
Right.
Fleury's little bobbles looks like it's going to cost me there if I miss that one. And then the other one is I had the Kings in 7. So if they come back, then that would be. Well, I always pick against the Sharks because I figure they're choking dogs.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah, did you say the Pens never lost the deciding game on the road?
Penguins haven't lost a 7th game on the road. Now, they've lost deciding games on the road.
Yes,
they've lost
I recall 2 of them.
a couple 5th games. Well, there were 3 in a row, Paul. They lost, in 1980, they lost Boston, a 5th game. In 81,
I think that was a 7-game series in 8.
No, there was a 5-game series they played.
Okay, I could be wrong.
Yeah, and EJ was the Penguins coach at the time, I'm
Right.
pretty sure. They lost then to
St. Louis.
They lost to St. Louis in 81, and then they lost to the Islanders in 82. Those were all best of 5s, and those were deciding games on the road. But they have never lost a 7th game away. Now, my next question would be, I don't know that they've ever had a 7th game at the new building, though. I think their last 7th game, they played Tampa, and I'm pretty sure that was still in the Civic Arena.
Now, with Crosby and Malkin not scoring a point or a goal, do you think they got their big raises already? You think that has anything to do with it?
I don't know.
I quit.
I threw that out there with Marte. I don't think so, because not in the playoffs.
Well, you never know.
I don't think.
Like, do you think, our names are on the cup already, so who cares? Or
you wonder about the hunger issue, though.
Right.
When you've won once, and then
it's like it's not there anymore.
Yeah, you wonder about that. It's different. Things change.
Right.
Like you said, you get paid.
Right.
Things change. I really don't know. I can't say that I can't say I'd put it all on that, but it would. It's different. It's different than it used to be. I mean, the enthusiasm and everything that they had in the last game on Saturday night looked a lot like it did back when they were young kids, wet behind the ears, and didn't know what they were doing. And now when you become a veteran and you've been there and you've been through the wars, you're kind of too cool for school, and you sort of So that kind of. It kind of makes you wonder a little bit. At least it does me. But I don't know. I just think that it's a willingness, I think, with them right now.
And say like Columbus scores the first goal, Penn scored the first goal, and Columbus wins, and that would be all 6 games. The first goal, the losing, whoever scored the first goal would be 0-6.
That's unbelievable.
So, do you think if that happened, Game 7 would be a 0-0 game until overtime because they'd be afraid?
That would be Game 7 against the Islanders from 1975, and they lost 1-0, and that was 0-0 all the way to the third period. Yeah, nobody'd want to score. No, I think you take the lead and you take it. And by the way, I had it Saturday when after the second period, it was like I think somebody will finally get the 3-1 lead because one of these two teams is going to score a goal to go ahead, and then they probably score in the empty net, and that's exactly how it ended up. I didn't know which one it was going to be, but you figured that was the only way it was going to happen, was that 3-1 lead was going to have to be with like a minute to go, and you were going to be able to hold that. But
so if that happens tonight, look for a 0-0 game.
And we're going to have a 0-0 tie going into overtime.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the nerves? The nerves in the building of the fans, first of all. First of all, you got Pittsburgh fans at home in a 7th game when they can't win a 7th game at home. It's like a big jinx for them.
Right.
You'd have that going on, and then it would be quiet in there. You wouldn't be able to hear yourself think.
Right. And turning the Kentucky Derby, my prediction, I predict, just because of the name Candy Boy, will win the Kentucky Derby.
There's a horse, I believe the name is Hawks End. Hawks End, Hawks End, and it's owned by Joel Quenneville, the coach of the Blackhawks, and one of the assistants is involved. And it makes me wonder if Eddie Olczyk's involved at all, because we all know he's a big horse guy. They tried to get his pick out of him yesterday on the game, and he wouldn't do it yet.
Or Ken Harrelson, the Hawk.
Hawk Harrelson, yeah. I saw Hawk Harrelson on the Arnold Palmer documentary.
Oh, did you?
Because Hawk Harrelson quit baseball to become a pro golfer for a while.
Right.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. All right, Paul, let's do trivia. We got to run.
Salami.
Let's salami. Pick a number. 1 through 4 is available, sir.
Number 4.
Number 4. All right, here we go. Who was the youngest player to appear in a Super Bowl game? The youngest player to appear in a Super Bowl game. This is by age.
Age. Eli Manning.
Eli Manning is not correct. The answer is Jamal Lewis of the Baltimore Ravens, who in Super Bowl 35, which I think was in either 2000 or 2001, was 21 years, 155 days old. Jamal Lewis. I believe that's before he went to prison. I believe that is
I
correct.
wonder how old Eli was in his first.
Eli was pretty young. Eli was, well, I'll tell you what, Ben would have probably been younger than that because Ben got there before Eli did, and they were
Right.
drafted the same year, so Ben might have been younger. Ben was, I'm pretty sure that Mike Tomlin's the youngest coach to win.
Yeah, I believe he is.
So that was the one they won in Tampa. So, okay, Paul, thank you, sir. Good
Thank
seeing
you.
you
Have a
again.
good
We'll,
day.
we'll try this again next week. I thank everybody for calling, watching, all that good stuff. Billy Joe in the back, Josh, thank you, as always, for your able assistance getting this thing going. Thanks to Mr. Tattern, who I'm sure is watching at home, for letting us be here, and he's going to be back here pretty soon. I'm hearing rumors. Bob's getting antsy. He's finishing up that next book, so he'll be back there. So let's wrap it up. For George Guido, this is Mike Pavlik. Thanks for watching. So long, everybody.
Thank you for watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Borough in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.